Number 1, rats. We had a birthday party once, and my wife had cleaned everything up, and I was taking some stuff out to the garbage can, and she had somehow just taken the birthday cake and just thrown it on top of the garbage can inside. I opened it up, and there was a rat on it eating, who then freaked out and jumped right at me, and I was just like, like completely like flipping out. So that was awful. And then another time I was up in our attic. I had to go through a bunch of boxes to try to find something. And I was up there, and just out of the corner of my eye, I noticed something on the ground. I looked, and it was a rat that had gotten caught in a rat trap and died. And it was just sitting there decomposing. And I'd been sitting next to it for like 20 minutes. And again, that was just me walking around just going like, forever. And then actually another one, when we shot Ghostbusters, and we had a scene in an alley that is known as, I won't say the word, but S Alley. So, it's where a lot of people went to do their thing. But we were shooting, and all of a sudden I looked down, and an enormous rat was sitting under my chair. And, of course, I freaked out again.
Across the aisle. We may be different, but what do we have in common? Across the aisle. Across the aisle. Across the aisle. That sweater looks great on you. Across the aisle.
This is Pickle!
Pickle.
An ethics podcast for kids. Philosophy!
Small people, big questions.
That's like really weird.
Hey, Carl, let me tell you a little story about Ambika's 70th birthday.
Make a wish, Ambika! Who's Ambika? Is she a friend?
Kind of. Anyway, it was a lot like any other birthday party. All of her friends were around. People came from out of town.
Cool.
Her cake was really delicious. It was this mixture of ice and tropical fruit.
Look at Ambika's not my dream dessert, no chocolate, but each to their own.
But
What's with the long face, Shamita?
you know, that's a good description of how I'm feeling, Carl.
Huh?
Long face?
You've lost me.
I'm sad about elephants. Ambika's an elephant. She's lived almost her whole life in a zoo. Just imagine, she's taking the same walks every day. She doesn't have her family around. And all those tourists keep coming by and taking pictures of her.
But you can, see?
Today on Pickle, we're looking at whether an elephant like Ambika has a good life.
We know that many humans care about elephants and want them to live the best lives possible. But is their best life in a zoo, out in the wild, or somewhere else altogether?
What even counts as a good life if you're an elephant?
And how do we work that out if we can't talk to elephants?
What are we gonna do?
I thought you were gonna decide.
It's impossible.
Totally stop. This is too much.
Now we're in a pickle, now we're in a pickle, now we're in a pickle, now we're really in a pickle.
Look at the
Number 2, the return of my disabling vertigo. I was looking down in a drawer for some change, and all at once I completely lost my sense of balance, and I started throwing up, and I couldn't see straight, and my eyes couldn't focus. Completely incapacitating, terrifying. And then it slowly got better over the course of a few weeks. And vertigo is a reminder for me that we have more than 5 senses. It's just that we take them for granted. You know, we take for granted our sense of balance in the world. We take for granted our ability to understand right from left, our ability to stand straight up and, you know, see the world as one kind of consistent thing. It's also one of those things where you realize that that life is incredibly fragile, and that none of it is guaranteed to you, and that all of the promises of stability that you whisper to yourself are not really promises that you or the universe can keep.